is Dawn and you're watching Growing Up Chaotic, the channel where I candidly share with you how I survived growing up in an alcoholic, drug-addicted, mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive family. If I can survive and thrive after all of that, I have no doubt that you can too. In today's video, we cover a topic that shows up in our news feeds at least once a week, and that's the subject of bullying. It's a worldwide phenomenon that's getting attention in our workplaces, in the classroom, in our homes, and yes, we have a tendency to bully ourselves from time to time. Today I want to focus on a specific group of people that gets targeted for bullying as a result of the inappropriate behavior of the alcoholic or addict in their lives. For example, when I was in elementary school, the older siblings of my classmates created a very crafty nickname for me, and that nickname was Pothead. And Pothead refers to someone who uses drugs or smokes marijuana. Now, they weren't calling me Pothead because I had a problem with drugs or alcohol, or because I spent time in juvenile hall, or because I had a reputation for being a troublemaker. They were calling me a pothead because my older brothers had a reputation for doing those things. So as a result of their inappropriate behavior, I was bullied, I was made fun of in the classroom, in the cafeteria, in the hallways, and especially at recess. I remember that very vividly. I also remember hating going to school. I remember hating my last name because as soon as somebody figured out who I was related to, they automatically thrusted me into this bad person box. I remember I had very hard time concentrating in school, which further exacerbated anxiety that I had, which further complicated a learning disability that I had. And it also became this breeding ground for this belief that was already festering in my head as a result of growing up in an abusive environment that there was something inherently wrong with me. So if the alcoholic or addict in your life thinks that their addiction is only their problem and they're not affecting anybody else, although they may be struggling, they're wrong. There's a trickle-down effect, and their problem is your problem. So there's two conversations that I think we really need to get started here. The first one is, as a parent, you need to start talking to your children about the negative consequences of bullying. And if you need help starting that conversation, I found a really great resource called Bully in a Box. It's a series of iBooks that literally helps you get that anti-bullying conversation started with your kids. And don't worry, I'll put links for all these resources that I mention in the blog so you can refer to them later. The second conversation we need to have is with one another. And what I mean by that is that if you are currently living with an addict or an alcoholic, you need to surround yourself with other people that can support you in what you're going through, people that can relate to you. And you can start finding people like that by looking up your local Al-Anon or Alateen meetings in your area. They're all over the world, they're all over the place. It's a really great place to start. And these organizations are tried and true. And if you have a younger child, say in elementary school, that needs help coping with an alcoholic parent or an alcoholic sibling, you can start that conversation with them and support them in their struggle by looking for some really great books that talk about these issues, but talk about it at a level that these kids can understand. For example, there's a really great book called The Elephant in the Living Room, and I'll leave a link for that too in this blog, but if you Google it and go on Amazon, you certainly can find it. It's written by Jill M. Hastings and Marion Typo. Again, the book is called The Elephant in the Living Room. It's a great way to get that conversation started. You need help and you need support. So I have a question for you. If you were bullied as a kid as a result of the inappropriate behavior of the alcoholic or addict in your life, what was that like for you? And if you had one piece of advice that you could give to a family today that is struggling with the same issue, what would it be? Leave that advice and your story in the comment section below. Of course, if you know of anybody that can benefit from what we talked about in this video today, please forward this video to them. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the Growing Up Chaotic channel. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Growing Up Chaotic. And for additional insight and inspiration, you can subscribe to the Growing Up Chaotic blog at growingupchaotic.wordpress.com. That's all that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.